I built this house, every cubic foot of it, with my wife's progressive disabilities, diseases, whatever you want to call them, in mind. She has the early stages of Alzheimer's, or apparently so at least, in that short-term memory, balance, and complicated situation that used to be a piece of cake are now sometimes quite a challenge. This is the handle, the drawer pull and door pull that I selected from Lowe's. I cleaned them out. Of 31 of these, I had one left over. The first thing I want to talk about is the fact that it's very rounded in the handle. The grab part of it is smooth and it's not likely to snag you with a sharp edge. But the real purpose of this video is to show you what I did with the application of the handles. As you can see here on this base cabinet set, all three handles are facing the same way. In fact, all 30 handles in the entire kitchen set of cabinets are facing that same way. That way, you don't have to stop and think about which way to turn your hand. It's simpler than the average house. I became aware of the advantage of this sort of thing when I put in the front door, and it wound up being a situation where you have to turn the locks this way. That's open and open, horizontal and horizontal. Okay, but to lock it, this one goes clockwise and this one goes counterclockwise. That simple difference has on some days been a real problem for Pam. So when much later, several years later now, I finally got around to installing kitchen cabinets, I had that in mind and have placed these all in the same direction. In addition, all of the low cabinet doors and drawers are placed with the handles as high as possible, so she doesn't have to reach down any farther than absolutely necessary to open even a door. It's also equidistant away from the edges of the doors. They're not right out on the edges facing up and down like you would see in most homes. Now on the upper cabinets, they're still facing the same way, but now since she's reaching up and she is 5 feet at best, and that's before the osteoporosis hit, we haven't measured her lately, now she's reaching up and she can go still. She does have to turn her hand maybe one way or the other, but there's none of this. So here, this is as low as possible. Down here, it's as high as possible to make the difference. Now, we have one set of pretty high cabinets up over what will be the kitchen range and over this window, and these are a bit of a reach for her, but she assures me that her mom, when she was around at 4'10", could have reached them. Now, ordinarily, you would see the door handle up here, and she would have to have a stool or risk putting herself in danger to get to that. But not here. She can reach this safely, and again, it's facing in the same direction. Then moving on around to the longer wall of 8 feet of cabinetry, again, the upper cabinets all have the handles placed as low as possible, and again, all of the lower base cabinets have the handles as high as possible. Now, this is not a bad aesthetic appearance either. When you back off and look at this, you get quite a pleasing effect with the balance of, well, like here on this cabinet you can see, or these two, you see we have centered on top and the two doors below. That looks pretty balanced. There's nothing unfashionable, if you will, about the way that's done. Then over here where the sink will be, we have base cabinets with a set of 5 drawers on the ends to the side of the sink. Again, you'll notice that on this deep drawer and on every other drawer as well, it's placed, the handle is placed as high as possible, all still facing the same direction. Moving over here to the false drawer in front of the sink, then these two are really exactly on a level with this drawer over here. And didn't mean to kind of move that fast, that was kind of jerky. But then we go over here to the other side where again we have the symmetry all in a row and as high as possible. Then again, to back off and get a look, it is not an unpleasing effect aesthetically. It looks balanced, but it's designed for the Alzheimer's sufferer or the short person. I do not mean the so-called little people at 3 feet or 4 feet tall, but anybody that's 4'10" or above in that area can reach here very easily. And except for the taller cabinets over there by the stove, they can be quite a bit shorter and still reach them. Now, that's about it. Except I would like to comment for anybody that's viewing this video, I do not understand why we as a society tend to build homes in general that do not take aging or disabilities or progressive diseases like Alzheimer's into account. There's no reason that any home should not be put together with these considerations in mind. But we see so few that are. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.